Troy Sussman, welcome to the Fem Confession.
Thank you. Happy to be here, I think.
Tell me something no one knows.
Being a theatre boy, the most opposite thing to that is sport. And most theatre people are not sports people. But what a lot of people don't know is that in my youth, I was a represent springboard diver for Victoria and Australia.
Wait a second, you mean budgie smugglers and somersaults?
I mean exactly budgie smugglers and somersaults. From about age 6 to about 11, I represented Victoria and Australia in 1 metre, 3 metre springboard, and then 5 metre platform. But this is not my confession. My confession is this. So I was good at springboard. I enjoyed springboard. That was fun. 1 metre was great, close to the water. 3 metre was a little higher, but that was good. But the higher we got, the harder it was for me. Now, the worst thing you can do as a diver is be afraid of heights. Now, when I was younger, I wasn't afraid of heights, but the older I got, the more worried about it I was. So when I was training on the 5 metre platform, I'd climb up the stairs and I'd be there and I'd be ready to dive and go, no, not doing it today. And I'd climb back down the stairs. This would happen because I would be training 3 times a week before school and after school. Crazy. And so I'd get up there and then go down. And then one day my coach got really sick of this and my dad was there. And he said, if you go off the 5 metre platform, I'll get you a racing car set. So this day I climbed up the stairs, stood there and was there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then my dad arrived and I looked down and he looked up and I'm going, no, I'm not doing this. He looked up and I looked down and then he did this. He went, and I went, okay. And I went off and I got a racing car set for going off the 5 metre platform. And then I did compete in 5 metre platform. I never went off to 10. That was just ridiculous. Why would you? I mean, I like my body the way it is. But I continued to dive and do 5 metre platform, 3 metre springboard and 1 metre springboard for many, many years.
You've got the discipline of your performing arts, and to add in a discipline equal and maybe even more physical than some of the things you might have been doing at that time in your life, that's huge. I mean, so when you say before school, you mean 6 a.m. session?
Yeah, we had one coach who had a home pool and his pool was like ice and you had harnesses. So you'd practice your salts in a harness into the freezing cold water.
Oh, can we just appreciate the lingo, your salts?
Yeah. Well, I got up to a triple salt. A triple salt would be you'd end on your feet. So any half, so a 2.5, you'd end on your head.
How do you even get into this? From a kid from a showbiz background.
Well, I had one sister that was a diver. We were all swimmers, and one sister that then went into gymnastics and trampolining. So I guess I was the young one. I kept going and, got very good. My father actually went to the Barcelona Olympics as the manager of the diving team in 1988, I think it was.
This is like a whole Sussman family confession.
Things you never knew. We all did sports. And at the same time, I also played football. So you can imagine I was doing theatre, swimming, diving, and football, Aussie rules football. And of which I've won medals and awards and trophies in all those disciplines. And theatre, which I still do. So the Greg Louganis musical, I'm in. It's my role. I'll even hit my head,
I want to know what car set you got.
Oh, it was one of those remote control cars, the RC cars with the loop and you go round and yeah.
Oh,
the best.
I even know about that. I wasn't into cars much. I was more into the ballet and dancing and running around. But I even remember those your finger did the trigger.
Yeah. I bet your mother never said, if you do a triple pirouette, I'll buy you a racing car set.
My mother never said that to me. You're representing Victoria and Australia is right up there. Was there a definite point where you chose theatre over diving?
I think I actually woke up one day and went, I don't really want to do this anymore. Like you get to the trigger points in many things where you kind of have to then, 3 mornings a week wasn't enough. You've got to do 5 mornings and, a 2.5 somersaults enough. You've got to go for a 3.5 and go, that's not me. theatre was always going to be the place that I ended, and plus you've got to give something away. You can't do it all at the same time.
What are you like when you hit the pool now? Are you still afraid of those heights?
Yeah, I'm terrible with heights now. It's actually got worse the older I get. Did this VR thing, virtual reality, where you wear a helmet and a backpack. It was in a factory, and we were in VR for about 40 minutes. And then we got to this point where in the VR world, we had to cross this rickety bridge over a huge cavern. You're in a factory and you're walking, but because the VR is so good, you seriously thought you were walking on this bridge where planks would fall. And I actually had to take my VR goggles off to walk to the other side of the room. Here's me going, nah, can't do it. I'm in a fucking factory with the goggles, but your brain goes, no, you're standing on a rickety bridge and it's real.
I feel like that's more of a confession than what you had. I want to know more about that young Troy. Were you taken to all these things dragging your feet?
I was the brattiest, most energetic child that ever lived for whatever it was I was doing. Most of my early memories of everything I did was because of my family's involvement. So my earliest theatre memories are the same, were being at rehearsals where my dad was performing. And of course, with two working parents and sisters that are busy doing things, my father would take me to his rehearsals and I would sit in the side of the room watching and obviously learning. So my passion for theatre came from being dragged along to Dad's rehearsals for shows like Guys and Dolls and Salad Days. Similarly, because my sisters were diving and swimming and our family was heavily involved in the swimming club, you just did it.
One morning, sis won't go to dance class. I mean, I have seen those pictures of people turning somersaults.
Yeah, a lot of divers or gymnasts eventually do circ work there, or they become freestyle skiers and they do the jumps because they understand the flipping and the spinning and all that. But no, not many become singing and dancing actors and act on the stage. But there's an element of performing in sports anyway, like especially in something like diving where, it's as much the show as it is the artistry of being able to dive, because you've got to stand up and the walk and then the hurdle to the dive and then carrying yourself, focusing on the end of the board, and you go 1, 2, 3, hurdle and... Thank you.
But I love that I've known you for so long and I didn't know this.
There you go. Something new. How did you not know that? But I guess I don't talk about it. It's not something where do you bring up in a conversation? Yeah, and I used to dive from Victoria in Australia.
I feel like a pool party is in order soon. Troy Sussman, thank you for diving in with me today on the Fem Confessions.
Thank you for having me. And I'll finish with a tuck triple twister. Ready? And...
Get it off your chest. The Fem Confessions.